Hello and welcome to Froch On Fighting. I'm called the Cobra Froch, former unified super middleweight world boxing champion and International Boxing Hall of Famer. Today, I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by former IBF super middleweight world champion, Caleb Plant. Caleb, how you doing, mate?
Man, doing good. Camp's been great. Ready to rock.
Listen, you've got a big fight coming up soon on the, was it Canelo Berlanga undercard? Big fight for you. Important in terms of every fight's important, but you're building back up now. Obviously, you want to become world champion again.
Yeah.
How important is this fight to you?
It's very important. As you said, every fight's important, but as far as building myself back up to, a big fight, with this fight, the WBA interim title is on the line, and David Morrell, who was the WBA regular champ, just moved up to 175. So that belt is vacant. I'm not sure, but I'm guessing that once I win this fight, that I'll be elevated to WBA regular champ. Canelo's WBA world champ. So I'll let you do the math on that. And but right now I'm just lasered in, focused on the fight in front of me. So
Absolutely. Is that the fight you want? Do you want the rematch? Because obviously you've had the fight with Canelo. It didn't go your way. Is that something you want to avenge?
yeah, I'd love to right that wrong. You know, I'd love to get that revenge, but it can't be done without winning this fight on the 14th. And I sound like a broken record in my interviews at this point, but so many fighters are like, "Oh man, after I win this fight, I want to get a rematch, or I want to do this, I want to fight this person," and then they wind up losing the fight in front of them because they're not focused. And as I've said a million times, I'm never going to be that fighter. So I'm taking Trevor very serious. He's 28-0. He's looking to stay undefeated. This is his big shot, his big chance, and I'm sure he's thinking that if I can just win this fight, then that'll put my name in the hat for mega fights, and big paydays as well. So I know he's extremely motivated. So this fight needs my full attention.
Yeah, absolutely. He's obviously going to be going for it. And it's his big opportunity as well. So you've got to stay focused. I'll tell you what, we've got a bit of similarities in terms of opponents. We both fought the Durrell brothers. You fought Anthony Durrell. I fought Andre.
Yeah,
Both very good fighters.
yeah,
Yeah, it's nice that we've kind of shared a common opponent. And you kind of came along probably 4 or 5 years after when I'd kind of finished.
yeah,
How would a
yeah.
fight between me and you have gone? Obviously, you got back yourself, but how do you reckon the fight between me and you would have been? I think I think it would have been a great fight. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, it would have been a good fight. He was a rough, tough fighter, and you know, hats off to you. Can't do anything but tip my hat. You're a super middleweight who paved the way for super middleweights for me to come along. But I definitely feel like if we fought, that I would have got my hand raised in that one. So, what you think?
Yeah, you've got them fast hands. You've got them fast hands and them combination punches. I reckon I'd have had to try and get you out of there. But you've got a good chin as well. I mean, you can take a shot like myself.
Yeah, you as well. I was about to say, great
Yeah,
chin,
man. It's
but
important to be able to take a punch in this game, that's for sure. I'll tell you what I want to touch on, if you don't mind me. I mean, if I'm stepping out of line, please do tell me. But I was reading the bio to my wife earlier and looking at some of your interviews, doing my research, doing my due diligence before I got your interviews. And I'm telling you what, you could write a script and do a Hollywood movie on your life. It's just unbelievable the tragedy that you've been through with the sad loss of your baby girl, your baby daughter, and then subsequently your mother. I just want to ask, where did you get your strength from? Because you won that world title, like not long after your daughter. I just unbelievable.
yeah.
Have you? I don't know the strength and the courage. How did you do that?
Well, that was definitely a difficult time for me, and at the end of the day, I just felt like, and with anybody, at the end of the day, you got two choices: you can quit or you can keep going. And when you're in a messed up situation when you're not where you want to be in life, if you quit, it's going to be like that forever. That's going to be your life forever. But if you keep going, who knows where you might wind up. And so I was just so motivated to get out of the situation. Those are 2 points of my story that you brought up, but I have a million stories that motivated me to keep pushing on. And You know, I didn't grow up with much. I grew up in a town that was real small, didn't have a lot going on, and I just wanted more for myself. I wanted more for my family. I wanted more for my future children, and I knew that if I quit, that what I had at the time would be all I ever had, and I just couldn't have that. You know, there was no way. If I had to die to get here, I would have done it. If it took my last breath, there was no way that I was going to give up on what I wanted in life. And I always heard this voice in my head, like, if you keep going, you will make it. If you keep going, you will make it. And I just trusted that voice and, you know, kept going. And, you know, sure enough, here we are. So, yeah, it was difficult, but it gave me fuel. It gave me motivation to keep going.
Yeah, I can see you've got that dedication, that commitment when you're fighting, because you've got that fighting spirit where you just fight to the end. There's no quitting you. You see
Yeah, no,
fighters sometimes. I feel like, I don't want to mention any names, but sometimes fighters are spoiled
yeah,
on the way up and they have it easy, and when it gets tough in there, and they've been through no adversity in life, they just find it easy to just stay down or not come out for a round. But
yeah,
you strike me as one of them fighters that you have to nail to the canvas, and you'll fight until you can't throw any more punches, and that's commendable, and that I
thank you.
respect that attribute in a fight. And I was similar myself. I was
You
known
were.
as being a warrior, granite chin, and all that. But I can just tell when I've seen you, and from reading stuff about you, and the way you conduct yourself, you really are a man from the same heart as me, a true warrior. And the word warrior gets banded around too easily.
Yeah.
There's not actually that many warriors in that ring. I mean, it takes balls to get in the ring, but yeah, to be
Well,
talking to you, it's an honor, really.
my granddaddy, and my dad, you know, my dad was a fighter, and
Mm.
my granddaddy, he didn't fight, but he's still a warrior. And you know, he grew up with nothing. And when he was 8 years old, his parents brought him to a grocery store and said, "We don't have the money to take care of him, but if you let him live in the back of this grocery store, he'll work for you for free." And so at 8 years old, my grandpa had to leave his family and live in the back of a grocery store all by himself. And he grew up to own multiple grocery
Really.
stores. He owned, you know, 500 acres and sold a bunch off for a subdivision and traveled the world and you know, was a provider for his family and his own boss. He owned a post office and did really well for himself. And me knowing that story as a kid and knowing what he had to go through to get to where he was, I was like, man, if he can do that, I can do that. You know, he was his own boss. I want to be my own boss, and you know, I want to work hard. And you know, I seen what the hard work got him, and you know, that was a big motivation factor for me. So, and he will fight to the death. Like he's the last real cowboy alive, and my dad's the same way. You know, and so having those two strong
Really.
men in my life really helped pave the way for me to, you know, turn me into what I am. So, you know, I got to really, you know, tip my hat to them and thank them for, you know, being in my life and building me up the way that they have.
Yeah, it's amazing to hear. Actually, you go back to your granddad in the grocery store and what he achieved, and then your dad. It definitely gets passed down the bloodline. My granddad was he fought in World War II. He was captured by the Nazis in World War II, and he's from
Wow.
Poland. My granddad, that's where the name Froch comes from. So my granddad Wojciech actually fought for the Nazis and surrendered on the beaches of Normandy.
Wow.
The beaches of Normandy, surrendered, and then he got took captive and brought back to sent back to England as a refugee, if you like. And his story when he come back to England and meeting my grandma, and then my dad was a hard nut, in and out of prison,
Yeah.
and then that sort of gets passed down to generations. I mean, my son's like a soft kid who plays golf and he fights a bit, and I make him train, I make him box, but I would never let him box because he hadn't had that. He ain't got that mindset, I don't think, and that toughness that I think you need to go through, and what you've been through and what you've done. And I appreciate you sharing that with me as well about your tragedy. I really do. I didn't. I was a bit touch and go of whether to ask, but I appreciate you sharing that with me. And you dedicated your world title fight actually in 2009. You win to your late daughter, and
Yeah.
I tell
2019,
you, I was
2019,
I
yeah.
was 2019, sorry. Yeah, I mean, I was literally, I was welling up. The tears were to my eyes, and I don't know how he was able to keep that mental strength and do what he did. It was so beautiful what you said about her name living on through your success, but also so tragic at the same time.
Yeah.
But fair play to you. My hat's off to you, and I'm proud of you. I don't know you, but I know, obviously I know the fight inside of you, and I'm proud of you, and I admire what you've done. I really do. And like I say, thank you very much. I tell you what I always do. We never got a chance to do 12 rounds, me and you. we might have probably gone 12 rounds because I don't think I'd have knocked you out, and you want to knock me out. But I don't think you would anyway. Who knows?
Good.
But I always go 12 rounds with my guests, so I'd love to do a quick 12-round fire shoot question. So just short, sharp questions, 12 questions. And I know you're in camp. I know these interviews are a pain in the arse to do, so I appreciate you doing it. So
Yeah.
if I can just fire these 12 at you, I'd appreciate it. Right, Caleb. Round number 1. Favorite fighter of all time?
Favorite fighter of all time? Probably Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, good answer. I'm not going to ask you why. We know how great he is. We don't need to blow smoke up his arse. Round 2. What would you have done if you hadn't been a boxer?
Oh my God. Growing up, trying to make ends meet, selling drugs, doing things that, were risky, but things that I had to do. So probably would have been doing that because I wanted a better life for myself so bad that I was willing to do those things to get it, and until my boxing really took off. So probably just doing that till that's a dead end road though. You're either wind up dead in jail. So probably in one of those places.
Well, you got out of that by sticking to boxing, and boxing's not an easy route, is it? So
Yeah.
fair play to you on that one. Who inspires you to be better?
My granddaddy. Yeah.
Granddad, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's my hero. Him and my dad.
Cool. Nice. Right, fill in the blank. Ryan Garcia is.
Spoiled.
Oh, yeah. I can see that. I can see why you say that. He took a knee against what's his name?
Gervonta.
Yeah, Gervonta Davis.
And then they waved the fight off, and he stood up and started smiling. So
yeah,
if you got enough in you to smile, you got enough in you to stand up.
Absolutely. His life got a bit crazy after that. Like of late, before he retired, his life got crazy, and failing the drug test as well. It's the real shame after that win as well. Do you think you'll ever fight in the UK?
Maybe if Carl Froch comes out of retirement, we can do 80,000 at Wembley. What you think?
I wasn't even going to ask you about the big 80,000 at Wembley, and you said it yourself, so brilliant. You won't be getting me out of retirement. The only way I'm coming out of retirement is just for an easy fight with someone like Jake Paul.
Oh, okay.
Big money, no risk, massive reward.
There you go.
I won't be fighting anybody like you. I won't be fighting anybody who can fight anyway. Right, round 6. Sum up Edgar Berlanga in 3 words.
Not good enough.
Not good enough. Well, that's 3 words. Fair enough. Who's better, Canelo or Benavidez, in your opinion?
It's hard to say. Canelo, there's some things that he's better at than David. And as far as David, there's some things that he does better than Canelo. And, their styles are quite different. And both great fighters. So
yeah,
hard to say on that one.
Fair enough. Right. Careful how you answer this one. You won't get me out of retirement, but who wins, Carl Froch or Joe Calzaghe?
Oh, come on, man. I got it. Do I got to answer carefully?
Now, listen, you say what you want. Joe Calzaghe was a great fighter. I'm not going to say anything different to that. He was a great fighter.
He's undefeated. If I had to guess and bet money on it, I guess I'd go with Joe because he was undefeated, always found a way to win. But that'd be a tough fight. That'd be a tough fight. That would be hard to say. If I had to put money on it and somebody put a gun in my head, I'd say Joe Calzaghe because he was undefeated. So don't kill me.
That's fair enough. We'll move on from that one. What's your favorite cheat meal? Your favorite food if you're cheating?
I never really take a cheat meal because I keep my weight so good in check year round that even in camp, I have to eat a couple thousand calories a day just to keep my weight up. And so I never really am craving that cheat meal because I'm always getting to eat really well. Sometimes I'm like, man, I'm stuffed. I don't want to eat no more in camp. But outside of camp, it's probably a Nashville hot chicken sandwich.
Yeah, nice. It sounds like me with my food. I did the weight, super middleweight, so easy. I was hovering around like 172 pounds, 173 in the gym, and I thought I've got 2 weeks left to go.
Oh wow.
And if I cut weight for 2 or 3 days, I'll be on the weight. So I was never a big foodie myself.
Yeah, I
But the
mean, I
chicken
enjoy
sandwich
food,
sounds
but
good.
my weight always, since I train, I live a healthy life, drink on my water all the time. I don't drink, I don't party. So it allows me to be able to like do what I want really when it comes to eating.
Fair enough. Right, round 10, we're nearly there. What's your hidden talent?
Hmm. Hidden talent.
Don't you do some kind of country singing or something? Have you got a good voice?
No,
What you like on the karaoke?
I got no voice and I got a face for radio. So that's
That's a bit harsh, that.
I don't know if it's a secret anymore, but I enjoy designing, designing like fashion, designing clothes. I have my own clothing line that's been doing really well called Revenge Store. And I don't know if it's much of a secret anymore, but yeah,
Oh, really? That's interesting.
yeah.
What's that called?
It's called Revenge Tour. And I've dropped it's been about 2 years now, and the boxing world is really taking to it. It's not fight merch, it's its own lifestyle brand, but the boxing world is really taking to it, and it's done extremely well since I dropped it. So
Oh, excellent. I'll check it out. I'll check it out, definitely. Right, round 11. Favorite place you've visited?
um probably Paris. Um went to Paris
Paris,
with
yeah?
my wife for we stayed for about 2 weeks, and we traveled over to Amsterdam too. Amsterdam was really cool, but during New Year's Eve, so the tower was lighting up, and we did a lot of cool things while we was over there.
Yeah.
Paris was really fun. So
How long ago was that you went to Paris?
20. It was after the Canelo fight, leading into the new year. So
All
I
right,
fought
okay.
Canelo in November of 2021, and it was sometime after
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Last and final round. Who's your dream opponent to fight?
Dream opponent, past or present?
You know what? Actually, it wasn't past or present, but yeah, if you could fight anybody of any era, who would it be?
Well, if it was in this era, then I think me and Canelo would make for a great rematch. We did 800,000 buys in our last one, which is uh, the third highest pay-per-view since 2019, and his highest pay-per-view since I think the second Triple G fight. So I think a rematch, that'd be a dream fight. And then as far as any era, I'd like to fight James Toney. That's my guy. He treats me like family, but I know that if me and him were fighting, there'd be a lot of shit talking leading up to the fight, and that'd be a lot of fun. So,
Yeah, yeah, that's a good one. James Toney.
mm.
Some fighter as well, wasn't he, James Toney? Bloody hell, what a fighter he was. Listen, it's been a pleasure to meet you. I'm not going to keep you any longer. I really appreciate you coming on. And all I can say is good luck to the good luck with the training camp. Stay injury free, and I hope you get in that ring fit well. And God bless with it. All the best. And
My man.
on to Canelo, hopefully in the future.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. First things first on the 14th, and like I said, I appreciate the time. It's great to talk to you. We never really got to spoke before, but I got a lot of respect for you and everything you've accomplished. So thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks again, Caleb. Take care, mate.
All right, 80,000 at Wembley.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right, so that's about it now for another episode of Froch On Fighting. How good was that? Great to talk to Caleb Plant there. Sorry about any lagging or any connection issues that we had. We often have them when we're speaking to America. You know what it's like here on Froch On Fighting. We try and get the big guests, but we can't be responsible for bad connections. So don't hold it against me or my production team. But listen, this has been another episode of Froch On Fighting. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit subscribe, and we'll see you next week.